So, the 1.3.0 update for Mario Kart World has finally been released, and we're going to be checking it out today because, my god, there's a lot to unpack here. So, let's not waste any more time and let's go ahead and check out the 1.3.0 general updates to this game. And there's quite a lot. So let's do that now. You can find out the patch notes by heading to the official How to Update Mario Kart World website on the support page. And here is what you need to know. You can now select friends playing Knockout Tour by selecting friends from online play 1 player. So, pretty good. Now you can join your friends in a game of Knockout Tour, and who knows, maybe you will actually become the champion of them all. Great to see that that's now a thing in this update, which I'm going to assume that this wasn't a thing in any other updates prior. In fact, I probably could scroll through any others, but yeah, we'll just go ahead and just play along with it. It's interesting that it's only 1 player though. I mean, player 1 will only be able to control everything anyways, so yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. Yeah, speaking of which, let's go to our next one right here. Up to 2 players can now play free roam while waiting if the game was full when trying to join friends playing race, Knockout Tour, or battle in online play. So that's pretty good. So let's say if the lobby was getting a bit full and you obviously also join via the friends. Let's say you either bring a buddy along IRL or online if you have them as added as a friend on your Switch or Switch 2, then yeah, you could basically do that now. So that's pretty good. Now, you do actually have to be relatively close to each other in order to do a whole like free roam, because if you try and went your separate ways, it would just close the gap again, and I don't know why, but it's great to see that's now a thing. Speaking of free roam, the free roam map now displays the locations of P-switches you've run over and Peach medallions you've obtained. Thank you! I think this was something that we needed in like the very first like launch of this game. The fact that it wasn't even in the game to begin with is crazy. Now, this doesn't necessarily apply to ones that you haven't found. Only the ones that you have found and completed will count. So if you were hoping that was going to be a thing, sorry, they really didn't do that. But it's great to know regardless anyways, now that you can actually properly track how many coins and all the P-switches you have done, and you can even do them again to see how well or how bad you've done in said missions. The only exception is that the question mark like panels that you run over that are found in every single track, yeah, they don't show up. Like, they do not like tell you where they are. You just like, you gotta figure that out, buddy. So that's a great change. And speaking of P-switches, you can now select a P-switch from the map and move to a location near the P-switch. Brilliant. So now we can basically, at any point, so we choose, to select a P-switch we can see on the map and go to it. And who knows, maybe play it again alongside it. Also in free roam, you can now transform into the character that you pulled into the UFO. Brilliant! That's a great way to unlock it. Now, it has to be done in free roam, but I've also heard you can also do this a lot better in the online mode as well. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And speaking of UFOs, it is now easier to encounter UFOs in free roam. I haven't necessarily found a UFO in the game yet, So, yeah, I'm going to still try and figure out where it is in the map, and I'll report back once I have found it. Now, this next one, I don't really quite understand this one. The conditions for the appearance of some Peach medallions in free roam have been adjusted. I don't know what this one is meant to say here. If anyone knows what this is meant to entail, please comment down below because I would like to know what this is. I've got nothing to really say as this one just seems kind of weird to add. But it's there anyway, so there you go. The next one. When spectating in Knockout Tour or Balloon Battle in online play or wireless play, you can now choose who to watch even if you are holding the Joy-Con 2 or Joy-Con horizontally. Brilliant. So now we can choose who to watch. Also now in Knockout Tours and Balloon Battles. So yeah, kind of interesting also as well to mention is that even if you're holding the Joy-Con 2 or the Joy-Con horizontally, okay, thanks for being that specific. I'm pretty sure somebody would have naturally found out anyways. And if they didn't, well then, you learned something new, right? But yeah, that's pretty great that you can now choose who you basically want to spectate and whatnot. So I guess we're getting somewhere close to how Mario Kart has always been before this game. Decrease the time between when an item box is taken by someone and the next time it is revived. So for this one entails that they actually increase the time it took between when someone gets an item box and the time it gets brought back. So very fast, but also very chaotic now because there's going to be even more items on the track. So that's going to be fun. The next one is also mentioned here. Increase the invincible time after spinning or crashing during a race. Brilliant. So think about it in this context. In Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, there's this thing called high frames, where essentially you'll get hit by an item, let's say a blue shell, and if a red shell tried to come and also attack you at the same time as well, you would basically be invisible for a good few seconds or so, depending on how long it lasts and how many items you get punted with anyways. However, in World, that was actually changed in a way where that even if you did get hit, let's say again by a blue shell and then a red shell or a green shell or any other item try to hit you, you would immediately also get spun out and crashed along with it. So yeah, so it's really great that they've increased it so now you have more of a cooldown period for a brief moment anyways until you get hit by even more items. Because if you have anything to go by, is that Mario Kart Online players will like to spam a lot of items at you. And also, I like to spam a lot of items at them. We all win, kinda. Reduce the force of jumps when landing on a rival from above. So, yeah, apparently I've heard people didn't really like this. I'm gonna be quite frankly honest, I've never really utilized it that incredibly much, to be honest, because at the end of the day, you're more concerned about focusing in on the race. But it's good to know that they've reduced the force of jumps when landing on a rival from above. That's pretty cool. Decrease the amount of time between when you finish and when spectating begins in Knockout Tour or Balloon Battle in online play or wireless play. So yeah, I think this one is basically saying you now will instantly start spectating after you have, let's say, lost in the Knockout Tour. Say you become a lower out of the required position. Now that when you do lose, at least you're not just going to be there for a good couple of seconds or possibly, I don't know how many seconds it was, but you get what I'm getting at. That now it's instantaneous, so that's a great. I sound like Mario, but it is a Mario Kart video, so there you go. Decrease the amount of time passing through the checkpoint and when the ranking is displayed in Knockout Tour, in wireless play, and LAN play. So yeah, I think this one is basically like, let's say you do go through a checkpoint, right? Or let's say you were actually kind of like below in like Knockout Tour. Then you basically would essentially, it would like take some time between it registering that you went through it and then going on to actually showing the rank that you ended up at. Now, this is quite the biggest one, in fact, of them all. Further increase the frequency of lap type courses appearing in the selection when choosing the next course in versus race and wireless races. Now, this was done before in the 1.2.0 update when that released. However, it felt like it was still more leaning towards the highway tracks, is what I'm calling it, because intermissions just don't make any sense. But the highway tracks anyways. So it's great to see that they are still trying to increase the fact of more of these 3-lap tracks being played more available to you, which, I mean, really, like, it shouldn't have been changed since the 1.1.2 update, and that was the last video I made about this game's updates. So that's great, but I really wish they did address how, like, the random button worked, because, like, I still refuse to believe that the random button where it picked a random course, it doesn't matter if it was even a highway track where you drive to the course or just on the course itself. Random has always worked where it picks a random track and you go to it. Nothing else. Nothing else matters. Even Mario Kart 8 even understood this as well. So the fact that they just wanted us to play it their way, well, that's probably why many people are going to Sonic Racing Cross Worlds anyways. But that is the update for Mario Kart World. Let me know in the comments of what you think, and let me know as well if I've got any of the things that I've tried to explain to you to what I can understand to the best of my abilities anyways. And feel free to correct me if I'm wrong about them anyways. I don't mind it to be corrected, and obviously corrections is what helps people understand them better. Now if you don't mind, I'm going to be playing the much better game. That is Sonic Racing Cross Worlds.